Alrighty, welcome back. We've got the engine tore down some more. We've taken off the carburetors. We've taken off the intake manifold. We found out how to take off the fan. And there's a few things that we have to fix. And the reason I'm going to say we have to fix, and I'll explain to you as we go. As we took the starter off, this is why I'm saying that we have to fix the starter. On Jolene's car, if we were to take the starter off the engine the way it was put on, we would basically have to take the body off. And before I explain all that stuff, I'll show what I mean. This is the bolt that was in the starter. There was 2 bolts in the starter, and they're just small little bolts. But as I get investigating, I don't know. I've never put a Jaguar engine together before, but I am tearing it apart slowly, and as you tear it apart, you learn things. As I can see inside the starter has threads inside the starter to bolt it up. So what I'm thinking is a bolt goes through the transmission and then screws into this. So me actually being able to put this bolt through is not the right bolt for the starter. And the reason I'm going to say that we've got to fix it is because if we left it the way it was, this is the reason why we're going to fix it. If I left it the reason was, there's movement in that bolt, in that transmission. When we took one off, one was good, fairly tight, and one was loose, and the top one was loose. But as we do that, as that loosens up, that means that the starter is able to jog around inside there, and that would cause an issue. And what that would cause an issue is there's teeth on that starter. If you don't know, I'm going to explain it to you because that's what we do here. But we have a ring gear in there on the transmission that the teeth of the starter turns the engine over. When that became loose, then we start to cause problems with the starter and the teeth on the ring gear. And if you did not realize, what was going on, if you did not know that the wrong bolts were in the starter, you could cause major problems. There could be a problem. You could ruin the ring gear, and then that means the transmission would have to come off, put a new ring gear on. You could ruin the starter. The starter could be faulty, and it would cause major issues. So when I get back to when we have to fix it, this is what I'm going to get back to. You have to think the same like Mayweather. Like this car here, when we put the engine in, there's no room to work on anything. There's a video of us dropping the engine on top of the car because we could not fit it in. We had to go from underneath to get it. So that sort of means to me somewhat that in order to get the starter off this engine in Jolene's car, we almost have to take the body off the car. And basically that's why when you buy a new Bugatti, the oil change is thousands of dollars from what I understand. And it's because of the work they have to do. If you have to take the body off to get out the engine and change the oil, well, that means that you have to take out the body mounts. You have to undo the steering. You have to undo the brakes. You have to undo the electrical. You have to have the body mounts all undone. It has to be up on the hoist. You have to change the oil. Then all that stuff has to be repeated and put back down on, which would take time, effort, and so on and so forth. So what I'm thinking is if we had to change the transmission or do anything like that to this car, it's a major issue that we have that fixed. And one thing I will say, if I know this is the wrong bolt to go in the starter, so would you. It's just called evidence. We know that it's the wrong bolt because it's supposed to be threaded into the starter. That's one thing that we have to have fixed, and that's for sure, because that would cause a major issue when it comes time. We don't want to do that, so we're going to have to get the right bolts for the starter. Also, we got the fan off. The fan really kind of set us back. It was kind of set us back a little bit. And this is what I'm going to say about the fan. The fan bolts I took out with my fingers. That's a major problem. And why I say that's a major problem is because it's a safety issue. It would go up through the hood of the car. It could do many things. It could kill somebody. It would take out the radiator. It would take out the hoses. It would destroy the hood. If we were test running it in the car and we were revving it up and standing beside it, basically, if the fan is loose and not put on properly, you're asking for trouble. You're really asking for trouble. And when we got the fan off, or when I went to go for the fan, I couldn't figure out what was going on there. I thought I had to do some investigating. I think it was yesterday when we did the video. Well, I got the fan off, and that's what I found. It's quite, I'm not sure, you know, as you see that, you obviously must know, how would you tighten it when the heads are half cut off? There's only a certain distance that you can get that, like, how would you tighten that to make that fan stay on? That fan is probably, I don't know, probably 5 pounds, and I would hate to take it in the forehead. What I'm saying is we have to fix it. Also, with some evidence, we all know that is not safe, and that's not safe, and it's not the right bolt. So basically, that's what we have to fix. So as we get going on it, the confidence comes down quite a ways. When we first got the engine, Jolene was very happy with it. We were going to put it in the car and be done with it. So the only reason that we're doing what we're doing is because I want it to detail a little bit more to put it in the car and to make it look the best it could. That's the only reason I wanted to take it apart. I wanted to detail just a little bit better, maybe do the valve pan covers, that sort of stuff, whatever. But as we go to put it in the car, we have to fix the starter. We have to fix the fan. When Doug dropped it off, he stated that the carburetors probably weren't the best. His friend Jerry said they either need to be replaced or fixed, and that he would replace the carburetors or fix the carburetors. He stated that as he had it running here, and I was quite impressed with his warranty. I guess that's what we'll call it. But as we get going, I'm thinking that we're going to get the carburetors fixed before we put the car down on the body, because of the simple fact is we're not going to be able to get the carburetors off when we put the body on to fix it. If we put the body on before we fix the carburetors, it's going to be like the starter, like the fan. We're going to have to take the body off, unhook the steering, undo the body mounts, unhook the brakes, unhook the wiring, unhook basically everything to get the body off, to get the carburetors off. So the warranty was shot out very plainly and simply that he would pay for that. Now we're at the point where this is where we're at. This is where we're at. There's been a lot of talk about me and Doug had a falling out. And yes, me and Doug did have a falling out. And I'm going to explain the falling out. Basically, what I'm going to say is that Doug watched a video one day of me building a drive shaft. He thought it was his job to come here and tell me that he wanted to club me upside the head, and that to build it right, to do it right. And I've been clubbed up by the head by many times by many different people. And I took offense to it, and I told him to get out. And basically what's going on now is that we're not sure. Jolene's been in contact with him, but we still want our warranty. We still want our warranty. We still want it because, and I'll tell you the reason why, is because if I bought something at a store and I did not like it, it does not mean that my warranty is over, basically, you know. If I don't like a store and I don't want to go back and I want my piece back because it's broken, I still have a warranty, I should be able to get my piece back. Well, you don't like us no more, you're not getting my, you know, I'm not allowed your property no more. That means the warranty's off. No. We want, what I would like is for Doug to stick to his word and replace her carburetors like he said he would. Just because he offended me and wanted to club me upside the head does not mean that he does not do Jolene's warranty like it's something else. Also, I'm just wondering, with the bolts in the starter and the bolts in the fan, if he thinks he's building it right.